Trump is not playing, man. If you default on your student loans, then your wages will be garnished. They coming for that money. I knew this was too good to be true. When Biden paused it, y'all got to remember it was just a pause. It's not that they were stopped. A lot of people thought it was over. I ain't got to pay back my student loans. No, he paused them. And I remember my Dukes, my mom saying, they going to get that money. Trust and believe they going to get that money. That was her words. But listen, family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe. And ring the post notification bell as well. All right, let's get into it.
Trump administration announced the Education Department will start collection next month on student loans that are in default. That's roughly, we're talking about 5.3 million borrowers that are in default. What do people need to know?
Okay, if you work for the federal government, then your wages could be garnished if you're in default. If you get a tax refund, that tax refund may be actually garnished by the federal government. And if you are getting a notice that says you are in default, there will be 30 days and the government could actually garnish your wages. To be clear, this is something that people who owe money need to pay attention to. Also, all of the people in default, we are now seeing reporting to credit agencies. We haven't seen that before. Wow. So we now know that credit scores are dropping for these borrowers by somewhere around 130 points.
And the bottom of my casket will have a file cabinet for all these student loans to rest in heavenly peace. That's how much I owe in student loans. How much money I owe in student loans. Now, let me provide you with some additional information since I know that this video is going to go viral because people are cruel and a lot of people are going to be ready to attack me in the comments and judge me and do whatever they got to do to feel good about themselves. I am a proud 25-year-old with over $100,000 in student loan debt. I went to school. I got a free associate degree through the early college program. I then furthered my education and got 2 additional degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship with a minor in management, and I have a master's degree in organizational leadership. But one thing America doesn't know about me is that I have 1 additional degree that's not on file and it's not in the records anywhere, and that's a law degree. At any given point, I'm prepared to take the stand and explain why I cannot afford to pay a dime on them student loans. Baby, you ain't never seen a sharp, undegreed attorney like me ever in your life. It's my time to shine.
So if I don't have any wages to garnish, then what? Does that categorize me as a criminal and then I'm sent to the concentration camps?
They just said that 92% of the people that went to college and racked up all this student loan debt don't and won't have jobs in the degrees that they got the debt in. So why y'all asking us to pay this money back? If you know that, why are we being asked to pay? And then this is the thing that gets me. Before I could even lift my right foot out of the door frame of graduation, my university was already contacting me for a donation. It's because of y'all that I'm a bam flipping donation to the Department of Education. And now they want to garnish our wages. What did you go to school for? Did you graduate with your degree? And are you actively using your degree to make tons of money like they promised you? Was it worth going to college? Was it worth racking up all this student loan debt? And even if you did go to college, finish your degree, you walked across the stage and you got your pretty degree, have you finished paying back your student loans? Will you pay back your student loans?
All right, I just want to give y'all the statistics, man. So as of 2025, that's the year we in right now, if you don't know, 42.7 million borrowers owe over 1.6 trillion in student loan debt. So that's the number, 1.6 trillion. More than 5 million borrowers are in default. They haven't made payments in over 360 days. 4 million borrowers are late, delinquent, 90 to 100 days past due. And nearly 10 million borrowers could be in default in the near future, representing almost 25% of the federal student loan portfolio. Man, so that's showing right there that most people do not pay off their student loans. Most people. According to research, approximately 20% of U.S. adults report having fully paid off their student loans. Having mean they did. That means they did. So 20%. It's looking like everybody else that haven't been making payments, these are the people that will be targeted.
You guys voted for him, but here we are. Donald Trump, as of May 5th, with the Department of Education, is going to start involuntarily taking their debt from people that people owe them. for student loans. If you have a student loan and you haven't paid since 2020 because you've been protected, or your account's been defaulted because you haven't made a payment in the last year or so, 300 something days, they're going to start coming after your wages. They're going to garnish your wages. Yeah, when you think you're going to get paid every 2 weeks, expect almost either nothing or less than half of your paycheck, just saying, depending how much you owe. Obviously, I wouldn't know, but you should. They're going to go after your tax refunds. I don't know about anyone else, but I love me a good tax refund. So is anyone else not upset they're taking your tax refund? And Social Security benefits. They're going to start taking those away. They're involuntarily. Do you know what that means? They don't give a damn what you think is what that means. That means, oh, you're barely surviving on your paycheck. Oh, you're barely surviving on your Social Security benefits. Oh, you've been waiting for that tax refund for the last couple weeks. You're not getting any of it, apparently. You gotta pay your loans. But this is what the president wants, so...
Yeah, so I'm at home. Where am I right now? So I'm at Home Depot right now. And don't worry about it. Yes, I got shit to build. Anyways, I'm over here looking at everybody. I'm looking at everybody talking on my trending page, on my For You page, about the garnishing the people's wages that have a degree. And I feel like that's such bullshit, because I feel like, first of all, it should be only if they have a job, and the job that they're in right now, they got with their degree. But bitch, if you have a degree and you're not working that job in your field, they should not be coming after you, because it's becoming ridiculous. It's becoming ridiculous. I thought they told us go to college, degree, go to college, get a fucking degree. But bitch, it's literally making me go crazy. It's literally making me go crazy, and I don't give a fuck. Look, I could have a 0 fucking credit score. I don't give a fuck about this system. I don't give a fuck about this government. And I'm basically waiting for it to crash and burn. But anyways, that's really crazy to me. I can't believe that they really expect people to pay back debt. Bitch, first of all, America's in debt. Bitch, America's $1 trillion in debt. The motherfucking, what the fuck is that place called? IRS, the Federal Reserve, bitch, they're fucking in debt. They're just printing fucking money. So you want to come after us? No, bitch. America, how about you worry about your own fucking debt first?
I mean, according to Trump, this is his way of getting the debt down. Coming after the people, making the people pay more. Doing the tariffs. You know, all of these things we see him doing, he claimed that's going to get the debt down. We going to see, man. The people owe a lot. The government owe a lot. Everybody in debt. We have a debt-based economy. The system is debt-based. There's something called good debt, bad debt. At this point in time, with nobody really getting jobs fresh out of college or at all, like you go to college and you can't get a job in the field you went for. So I would say that's bad debt. You can't even consider that good debt. I agree with her, though. They should come after the people that got a job, at least. Like, I followed the system that y'all told me to follow. And I didn't get a job. I'm not even getting paid off of this. So I really wasted my time and money. Now, the people that didn't and they actually were able to get a job and they have a career, yeah, they should have to pay. That's kind of not fair that y'all sold these people this dream. And now they have to pay for something that didn't even benefit them.
Wage garnishments are not what you think they are. And they don't do what some of you think they can do. As a victim of the first Trump administration, let me explain to you what wage garnishment is. You can't just stop your direct deposit and think that wage garnishment won't happen. You can't just take all your money out the bank and think that wage garnishment won't happen. Think about your wages. Who pays you your wages? Your employer, right? What department cuts your check? Payroll. So what the government does, and mind you, state governments can do this too, depending on if you owe them certain things. They go directly to your employer and directly to the payroll office of your employer. They look for your name, your identifiers, employee ID, Social Security. Yeah, we need to attach a garnishment on that person's paycheck. So the wage garnishment will literally be on your paycheck. Next to taxes, federal taxes, state taxes, dental, medical, union dues. Oh, look. Wage garnishment is already on the pay stub because they went directly to payroll to take your money. And that's the federal government. They can also do something called a levy. A levy or a lien is when they try to take your property or go into your bank account and take your money. So again, one more time, ending direct deposit does not stop wage garnishment. Taking all your money out the bank also does not stop wage garnishment. If you want to protect yourself and stop the wage garnishment before it begins, I suggest you reach out to your lender, your creditors, your senators, your congressmen, your attorney generals, and you fight back. Hope this helps.
Okay, so been away for a while, you guys, and I may still be away for a while. There's a lot going on in my life right now. But let's talk about student loans for a second. I would just encourage you guys to contact your loan servicer. I contacted mine. My loan servicer is Advantage, yes. I contacted them, and it was a pretty painless situation. If you are behind, if you have any payments past due, as full disclosure, I had some payments past due. They will give you a forbearance to clear up that past due amount. So what you want to do when this mess goes into effect on May the 5th is just make sure that your loans are not past due, and do whatever you need to do to work this out. I saw some people reporting that the income-driven repayment program, they had taken that down off the website. Y'all, some of these people don't even have student loans, and they're not doing this research. Go into your account. You can still do income-driven repayment right now. I just got off the phone with my folks. And all I did was I got my loans or my payment out of past due status. I will start making regular payments on next month, unfortunately, but you don't want them garnishing your wages. I also asked them, what's the deal with the garnishment of wages? I am concerned because I have children too. They have student loans, but I also did Parent Plus loans to help them out along the way. So I'm paying for that and for mine, and then they're paying for the loans that they received also. You don't want your paychecks garnished. Just call them, talk to them. They were very understanding, and the impression that I got was they don't know what's going on either. We were getting all this messages and stuff coming down from different places, and they said until we reach out to you, don't worry about anything. You're in good standing with us right now, so just do what you can, stay in contact with us, and we'll keep you posted. But they said, these headlines, they haven't received any information yet. That's the impression that I got. He did not say that. All he told me was, listen, until we reach out to you, until we contact you, just hold tight. So definitely don't lose any sleep over it tonight, but go ahead and reach out to them.
All right, so let me get this straight. And y'all let me know if I'm hearing this correctly. But basically, if you are not past due, then they will not garnish your wages. This is for the people that have not been paying. So if you have not been paying, then from my understanding, if I'm hearing this correctly, then as long as you get out of delinquent status, as long as you get out of, the point that you haven't been paying, they want to see that you've been paying. So if you're showing that you've been paying the minimum even, right? What if you just pay the minimum? Then will that make you in good standing to the point to where they're not going to start taking your checks? Because they ain't going to take your full check, but they're going to take, it said 15% last time I checked. So y'all let me know, but I think that's what she's trying to say. If so, y'all better get on them phones and go ahead and pay on them loans.
I've had my wages garnished before for student debt. Let me tell you my story. So not only do I have $97,000 in student loan debt, I've also had my wages garnished by the government for failing a class on a Pell Grant. What is a Pell Grant? For non-poors, that is what you fill your FAFSA form out for. That is federal financial aid for students who are in some way disadvantaged, especially first-gen students like me. So not only am I first-generation American citizen, I'm the first generation to graduate high school, much less go to college or get an advanced degree. So when I fill out my FAFSA, it shows your parents' highest level of education. For my dad, it was 8th grade. For my mom, it was 11th grade. It kind of sorts you into a tax bracket. It immediately put me into the highest need group, which meant that my Pell Grant completely covered my first year at the University of Houston and partially covered tuition for the second year. Now, I chose to go to a state school because of the lower tuition. I was working 2 full-time jobs while I was going to the University of Houston. I worked Starbucks in the morning and half-price books at night. So I went to school 2 days a week and I commuted 25 miles in and 25 miles out. I bought a little used car for like I don't know, $4,000 or $6,000, a Saturn SL1, and it started breaking down almost immediately because that's a lot for a little car to do. Anyway, I take pre-cal, and the teacher was so great. They were trying so hard, but English was their second language. I can't understand math in any language. I'm just not built for it, and that's okay. So I failed it. I try to really bear down, and I'm like, okay, I'll get a tutor, I'll figure it out, take pre-cal again the second semester. I fail it again. So I'm working 80 hours a week, I'm driving 50 miles round trip, and somewhere something had to break. The terms of a Pell Grant are that you have to be enrolled full-time, pass all of your classes in order for the Pell Grant to continue to subsidize part of your education. I didn't pass the class twice. So that meant that I was enrolled for 12 hours for 2 semesters. Now I was enrolled for 9 hours or part-time for 2 semesters, which meant that I got my Pell Grant pulled for that academic year. That meant that I was responsible for tuition for an academic year. At the University of Houston at the time, that wasn't too much. I think it was like maybe $6,000 per semester. But for someone who is driving a Saturn SL1 and working 2 jobs, that is not an affordable amount. So I couldn't pay my tuition. They put a stop on my account. I couldn't enroll in any more classes, forcing me to go into community college to continue to get my basics out of the way while I figured out how to pay off my tuition balance and enroll. So they forced me to drop out of college. And finally, when I couldn't pay the debt, it went into collections because the federal government gave me that money. I became responsible for that debt, couldn't pay it, so they started garnishing my wages at both my jobs. I was making minimum wage, I think which is like $7.14 an hour, and my paychecks were like $780. No wage garnishment. After wage garnishment, I was making about $515 per paycheck, which meant that I could no longer pay my car note. So I moved back in with my parents. I was living in like a little apartment. It was a nightmare. And as soon as I moved back in with my parents and trying to get back on a stable financial path, they repossessed my car. I started college in 2000, was forced to drop out in 2002, and couldn't come back to school until 2007, finished in 2011. But now I have a repo on my record, and it wasn't even on my record, it was on my mom's record. After my car was repossessed, I had to go to Walmart and get a little $50 mountain bike to ride my bike to Starbucks. And as you know, Houston is not a very bike-friendly city out in the suburbs. Commuting at 4 o'clock in the morning to make your 5 a.m. opening shift on the frontage road of Beltway 8, pretty dangerous. Wage garnishment really ruined my 20s. It really messed up my life for a little while there. So as someone with $97,000 in student loans who has been in college since the year 2000, from bachelor's to PhD, and by the way, the student loan is only for my bachelor's, right? As one of the 1% of Latinas with a PhD, I am telling you, good luck, good fucking luck garnishing my wages. I was raised by immigrants. My dad was a self-employed musician. His W-2 was handwritten in pencil. The accountant had to put holy water on our tax returns. I am not new to this. I am true to this. And I hope that we will all stand up to these fucking goons trying to garnish our wages and show up for each other. Stop paying and demand that they forgive student loans.
Now, people are out on the streets protesting. Americans let a whole lot slide, didn't they? But when it comes to these student loans, people not playing now. They taking it to the streets. I ain't think I would see this day. Trump just been in there signing orders, signing them, and ain't nobody saying nothing. Or they might have said a little something on the internet, but nobody stood up. People ready to ride now. When it come to taking their money, oh no, that ain't funny. People not playing with the man. Do what y'all gotta do. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Do what you think is best. Matter of fact, drop it in the comments below. Are you taking it to the streets, or you gonna go ahead and pay? Or you gonna quit your job, make it to where you got no income, That way they can't garnish your wages. I guess you could do that too. I don't know. I really don't know. I never been in this situation, so I don't know. Y'all tell me.
Since everybody's talking about student loans, why not talk about how I got mine discharged? So me and my two best friends both went to the Art Institute of Charlotte, and after years and years, we finally got our loans complete discharge, removed, forgiven. I had about $60,000 in student loans, and they are all gone. They've been wiped clean. And since now the government has come out and basically is stating that if you guys don't start paying your student loans, they're going to be garnishing your wages. So I figured I'd make a video in case you went to one of these schools or a school similar to the school that I went to. So that way you can do the same thing and get your student loans discharged or forgiven. So basically, we went to the Art Institute of Charlotte, and if you went to any art institute of any kind within the states, outside of the states, you know that they were sued. They had aggressive tactics when trying to bring people to the school by making promises that they just could not keep. There was more details in the lawsuit. Go look it up if you want to. So if you went to a school that was similar to that, then you might be able to compensate or get your loans forgiven. In our case, we were able to get our loans completely discharged, removed. Art Institute of Charlotte actually lost their accreditation years after we graduated. So that was kind of what triggered our entire process. So if your school lost their accreditation ever, if your college lost it, even after you went, I'm talking about years and years after, you are entitled to get your loans completely discharged. If you went to a school and they had any lawsuits against them, you are entitled to get your loans discharged. And the lawsuit can be anything. It does not matter what it's about. It has anything to do with education and you going to this school, you are entitled to get your loans discharged. If you went to a school that made promises that they necessarily did not keep, or there was aggressive tactics in getting you to apply for the school, if they were aggressively getting you to apply for student aid, you are also entitled to a discharge or a loan forgiveness. We had our loans through Nelnet, so Nelnet forgave all of our loans. All you have to do is go to federalstudentaid.gov, go to loan forgiveness. It's going to give you two options. You're going to go to loan discharge. This is the borrow defense student loan. You can either select one of the two if your school has closed or if your school misled you. Be selected if your school misled you. All you're going to do next is just apply for this application. Submit the application. It's going to ask you, it's a very long application, but it is worth it. It's $60,000 worth it, okay? So take your time. All you're going to do is repeat the same thing. Copy and paste the same thing. The school misled you for da-da-da-da-da-da. And most of the time, the school misled you for what? Because they promised you something that they did not deliver on. That's it. That's all. And it takes a long time. It took us years to get this done. But if you apply for the application, they can hold your loan payments so that way you are not charged for payments that you have not made while this application is pending. And I will show you my proof. Okay, I'm gonna block off my information, but here you can see that my loan was discharged based on defense evidence, and the defense evidence was that our school lost their accreditation and there was a lawsuit. Or, like I said, you can put in your summary that the school promised you things that they did not deliver on, especially if that college promotes that job placement and you did not get that job, you can file for a discharge.
Okay, so that might be some news you could use. Seem like she got the blueprint, man. She got the game on how to get it discharged. I don't know. Like I said, I really don't know, y'all. Do you know how to get it discharged? If so, drop it below in the comments. Help somebody out. Have you had your student loan discharged to the point you did not have to pay it back? Share it in the comments. Maybe you can help somebody. But family, let me know what y'all gonna do with this situation, and let me know what y'all think about this. If you dealing with it, share your story in the comments if you would like to. Maybe somebody can help you out or they could relate to you. At the same time, even if you're not going through this right now, just let me know what you think about this video and what Trump is doing. Family, if you made it to the end of the video, you already know I appreciate you. I love you. Peace. And to my Hebrew family, shalom. Catch y'all on the next one.